Aloha from Norway. How's it going, family? It's trippy. One second you're on the west coast, the next second you're in northern latitude, 60-degree northern latitude. And this whole thing is just kind of like a little scrambling around to kind of get grounded. Um, did I eat some LSD? Not yet. Um, Let me just tell you. Ah, doce. Mwah. Mi amor. So, funny story. I came into Bergen and we had this epic Airbnb lined up. It was incredible from what we thought. We get there and the guy had just painted the entire place and he knew we were coming there for healing. Dude, Avocado Wolf. You might have to jump on this if you want. And he knew we were coming there for healing and literally had just painted it before we had gotten in. So the smell was so strong. It was almost intoxicating with chemicals. Terrible. And we had to go through that whole thing after being on an airplane for 30, 40 hours. It was intense. And then team got it together. Bigelow, my mom, were able to find an epic boutique hotel, which I'm at right now, and I slept 13 hours straight. And I just woke up, and it's 4 p.m., and I'll show you the view. It's incredible. I'm right in the center of Bergen. This place is like out of some type of old, Scandinavian novel. There's a cemetery right here in front of my window, like this ancient cemetery. It's incredible. Just out of control. And makes me, really value my home in a way. The whole thing about having a sanctuary is that you can take your sanctuary with you wherever you go. We were talking about that over the last week. It's wherever you travel to, whatever experience you're in. As soon as you close your eyes, you're in your room, you're in your house, you're on your land. And there's a power to having access into that attainment of consciousness. That's kind of the topic I want to get into, because on my flight, I read most of this book right here, which was a couple of people's personal experience of what Rudolf Steiner did for them consciously, and the whole aspect of his theology and his philosophy, and how those two came together, where you have access into super sensible knowledge at any point. And the physical world is just a world where we're in action and we're in movement, but as soon as we slow down, as soon as we close our eyes, we're in a million different worlds. And that speaks to what I'm speaking about coming here and going through that turmoil with my mom and family in that moment after being on a flight for 20 hours, to be able to just close my eyes and be directly back into my sanctuary. It was really key and foundational. And that can apply for any situation that you're in. Whatever stressful situation you're in, it doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters is that you have a place where you can drift into your mind space, into your heart space, and access those points. I think out of everything that I'm learning when it comes to Rudolf Steiner's technology and Rudolf Steiner's philosophy, it's that higher level of attainment where we can get beyond the material world. And how do we access those consciousness, and how do we access it without having, a reaction, or we have to get through it. It starts becoming repetitive. And that's where you start, that's where methods of meditation, deep breath, all of these things, you're building your inner faculties to be able to access those points. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the Akashic. You can call it, the deep, deep unknown. You can call it the subconscious, whatever you want to call it. It's your own inside universe within you. And that world is just as real as everything that you're seeing in the physical world. It's just as real as anything that you can touch or smell, that you can see with the five senses. It's looking beyond the five senses into the super sensibility as Rudolf Steiner would say. And that's going to be my meditation this whole trip while I'm here healing with family and exploring Norway and exploring what this country has to offer. I'm going to access my ability to use super sensible sensory points and knowledge. So at any point, I have always an ability to be able to tap into anything at any point, no matter how much stress I'm in. And what that does essentially is that's going to strengthen my ability to cope, my ability to be adaptable, my ability to access knowledge and higher levels of attainment, my ability to be flexible in any moment. And isn't that the mastery we're trying to achieve? Because think about it, all of the hoopla that's happening in our world, all of these different things, if we're in a position where we can flow and not force, and instead of reacting, be able to access the ability to tap into what we already know, so there's no vibratory field that's colliding, which is, this is key. This is key for me. I have an energy about me where I'm fierce, I'm competitive, I have that masculine hold, I want things to go smoothly. This is good for me, so I can be in a place where I can flow a lot better and not let things interrupt the beauty that is life. And I think there's a balance that we have to come to grips with. And if you're in a state where you're constantly being disrupted by your work, being disrupted by a loved one, being disrupted by a friend, being disrupted by anything, you do have to make changes. That's for sure. But ultimately, we should be able to tap into supersensory awareness at any point and access what brings us love, happiness, and harmony at any point. And that experience I went through last night with my family after traveling 20 hours to Norway, of coming into this home that we were expecting to stay in for the next 3 weeks. And mind you, we're here for higher levels of healing. I'm investing in my family right now and investing in myself to become the cleanest and best versions of ourselves, and integrating so much internal, emotional, and physical healing that we had to be staying in a habitat or a sanctuary that coincided with what we were getting ourselves involved with. So to get into that position where the house was terrible, the person we were dealing with was terrible, it's getting dark, we don't even know where the hell we are. That took a lot. And let me tell you, if I didn't do that training beforehand, because I pretty much read this entire book on the flight from California, if I didn't have that locked in right in the front, I would have blown up last night. I would have gone completely crazy. I would have went berserk. I would have, because that was a big deal, and the way that was being handled was troubling. But instead, what did I do? I took a deep breath, I relaxed into it, and I knew we were here for a bigger reason, and everything was going to work itself out. So that's a beautiful reminder. And that's why we do the stuff that we do. That's why we take care of ourselves. That's why we release emotional stress. That's why we take care of our physical bodies. That's why we're balanced in so much harmony. Let me show you a little bit of the view of what we're dealing with here before it gets dark. It's going to get dark pretty soon. Check this out. That's a cemetery. It looks like probably 100-year-old cemetery. And look at that railroad that goes right through here. We're right in the middle of Bergen. Look at that. How crazy is that? Look at this. We're on a mountain. Bergen. And I don't know if you could see, but that's like waterways right there and all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, this is epic. This is an epic spot. Trippy. So I'm going to go play in that cemetery in a little bit and really send some love to our ancestors and everyone that's done it before us, because ultimately that's just who we are. Dude, Avocado, you made the front page of the Bergen Times? Wow, brother. That's pretty epic. I'm going to be doing some epic footage here while I'm here. And I'm going to show you guys all my gear. Got some really epic gear that I'm going to showcase. Thank God for that sleep. Oh my God, I slept 13 hours, something like that. And so we're going to do some really powerful stuff after it just hit us. Before we go to Iceland, we're going to go to the northernest part of Norway, and we're going to stay at the Aurora Borealis Observatory. The Aurora Borealis Observatory. If you don't know who they are, go on their Instagram right now and go take a look. We just spoke to the owner. He's super stoked. Like, I'm gonna be dropping in on the full medicine journey. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I don't care. And I'm gonna film this whole thing while in the jacuzzi. And then right after that, we hop on a plane over to Iceland, and we'll be in Iceland for a week going completely berserk. And yeah, Riri, you're the best ever. Much love, Riri. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm here in full expression and very, very poignant in thought. And that poignancy is bringing me and giving me a momentum to go straight to the vortex. So there's no fluff anymore. And that's what I was talking about with my team and what I was talking about with David last week when Avocado was with us. There's no more fluff. The fluff is gone. All the theatrics, that's all like great. Other people can cover that. But for us, it's directly into the vortex on everything. On love, on tradition, on ancestors, on nutrition and wellness, on detoxification. That's what Symbiotica is. I have to stress this. I get that asked in all my interviews. What does Symbiotica mean to you? It's not about products. Great, we do make the best products in the world. There is a reason why the top athletes in the world are on Symbiotica. There's a reason why people that have access are on Symbiotica, but it has nothing but products. Is just a byproduct of the love and the tradition and the output and the heart resonance of purity, of no fluff. There's no fluff. It's accessing exactly what we need and doing it right, and doing it from a place of conviction and gnosis. I can't stress how important that is for everybody to get on that same level playing field. Because really, we're here just in a snap of time, we're gone. 1,000 years ago, if you look at history and you look at philosophy and you look at the greats, Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, all of them, all the way up to Rudolf Steiner, all the way up to modern day. People like, that are really in their heart and they can look beyond the veil of the material world. 1,000 years is just one snap of the finger. That's not a lot of time. 1,000 years is not a lot of time. So our earthly bodies are not here for not a lot of time. I kind of think in my own thoughts, that's what makes things so beautiful, is ultimately right now, as I sit here before you, and as you sit here before me, this is the most beautiful and present we'll ever be. Ultimately, our physical bodies are doomed in a way. They're doomed to not be here forever. They're doomed to turn dark and gray and wrinkly and eventually turn into dust in the air. I know that firsthand. I just went through that. I went through that experience. So our time here is so limited. So we must achieve higher levels of attainment as soon as possible. And I say that without putting stress on it, because we do have to just live, but we have to live in accordance to the natural law. And we've forgotten who we've forgotten. We've forgotten what we've forgotten. We're not present in so many ways. So we need to access that level of gnosis. Because all the questions that you ask me, and all the questions that you ask other people, and all the questions that you ask yourself, all the answers are right in that. No fluff, directly to the point, and accessing our purpose so we're here now, and we're present now. That's what Dharma is. That's what karma means. Presence, full presence, awareness, love, constantly in a state of love. If you haven't listened to my podcast with Pete Evans, on Heal with Pete Evans, it's not a long one. I think it's an hour and 15 minutes, and it's straight to the point. He asked me, what does it mean to have intention? And from there, he thought he was going to get a simple answer. Wow, I broke up intention on the highest level. Please go listen to that podcast with Pete Evans. I went directly into what intention means. Then he asked me my opinion on sacred medicine and psychedelics. I went straight into what that means. And again, this is my perspective. So please go listen to that podcast and let me know how you feel and how you respond to that. That's Heal with Pete Evans. All of it comes from here. We're all here now. Awareness has never been so clear to me. And every moment it's getting clearer. The veil is being lifted. The truth is right there. Have the discipline. Create time for yourself. Spend time alone. I go every 2 weeks now. It's almost like clockwork. Either I'm alone in my sanctuary or I go somewhere on the beach for 2 days. It's so necessary to reflect alone. We need that time because there's so much within us. Take the time. Love every part of yourself. By loving every part of yourself, you know exactly what direction you're going. That way you know what you're loving. It's through the awareness. Take care of your body. Take care of your health. There's an energy that when you respect your love, you respect your health, you respect self, all of the higher planes of supersensory knowledge goes up. All of that starts to mystify into an alchemy that's tangibly usable for you to play with. If you're unhealthy, if you're addicted to things that are toxic, if you're not taking the right products, if you're not eating the right food, if you're not drinking the right water, not going to happen. At least it won't happen to where you were destined to be. Because remember, ultimately, our physical bodies were carnated to come to a physical earth that was here for our thrival, not survival. We were here to thrive and to create abundance within ourselves. Everything has been designed for us to flourish. But today, as we enter into the second and third, out of the second and into the third decade of the 21st century, our material world has diminished in so many ways. We are now outside of the natural flow and the natural rhythms of our world. We've been indoctrinated into philosophies that are so short-sighted and they're so one-dimensional and are only serving one entity, which is an entity I don't want to talk about. We have to, and I don't like to say have to or need to, but it's what inherently comes out of me when I talk. That's how important it is, and that's where I'm at in my journey right now, is bringing that awareness. Your true self is immaterial. Your conscious is ethereal. It pre-exists your body and transcends the material. That line just always rings a bell and sticks to me on everything that I'm doing, as it should for you. I love you too. So much blessings. It's an honor to be here on this beautiful day closer to the North Pole than I've been in a long time, with my family and with my loved ones. And to feel like everything is coming together. And at the same time, we don't know anything. There's a beauty to that. I appreciate you too, brother. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate every single message I receive. What I really appreciate and what I really honor is people that actually take the time to do the research themselves, that hear from me, and then take what I say and go and validate it for themselves. That's what discernment is. That's the key to unlocking the fear of judgment. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your words. Thank you, G. I love you, brother. Thank you, Punky Irish. I love you. So much honor. So much tradition. We are cultivated beings coming from our ancestors. When they talk about past lives and they talk about the Akashic records and they talk about going into the abyss, what does that even mean? Just think about the energy that was taken to create us in this form. All of those enzymes, all of that electricity, all of those minerals, all of those thoughts and emotions are passed on through lineage and lineage and lineage over time, over time, and over time. They're with us, thousands of years old, thousands and thousands and thousands, from different epochs, from different time zones. Atlantean times, whatever you want to talk about, Lemurian, all of that stuff. What does that all mean? That just means that we come from a line, a powerful line, and our lives are worth more than the way the system has set it up right now. The legacy that I want to leave behind is that's the root of it. All the other things are beautiful. But right there, that's what I'm here for. That's my purpose. I had one of the most powerful human design readers in the world reach out to me, and he just sent me a whole thing on my human design. It's unbelievable. I'll post it right after this in the story. I'll snapshot it and post it right in the story. It talks about my spirit as an investigator, as an anarchist, as a martyr. That's my design. I'm a martyr. What does that mean? That means death means nothing to me without truth. That's exactly what martyrdom means. Is that death in this physical body means nothing to me without truth. That right there is everything. That is everything. Death means nothing. Death is just the beginning. Leave that open. Can you leave that open? Leave it open. Go do your thing, shower so you can go. I want that air in. All in. Death is just the beginning. What does even death mean? Exactly. You feel that? Do you feel it? Feel your heart. Absolutely, brother. All in. So much is happening. I'm getting to the point now through diaphragmatic breath work and breath of fire and qigong that I'm doing about 3 or 4 breaths a minute, and I'm starting to notice that I'm not even conscious of it. So inherently my inner self is starting to take breaths now at 3 to 4 times a minute, which is slowing my nervous system down and keeping me strong in sympathetic field. So I'm not dipping into, in parasympathetic field. So I'm not dipping into any stress. And that's been a game changer for me, to be so emotionally sound, so calm, so collective. And it goes back to, just my training and just how I grew up and how I learned how to take care of stress and how to handle emotional situations. Been a powerful, powerful savior in my life. I used it in my most high stressful times. And I think you guys know about my situation when I got bit by that rattlesnake 2 years ago. I mean, I got bit in the hand by a juvenile rattlesnake when I was fasted for almost 2 days. That's like the recipe of having, a deathly response to a bite. And instead of immediately adrenalizing my body with fear and pain and frustration and going from 0 to 100, if I would have done that, that would have adrenalized that hemotoxin into my brain, into my heart, all over my body. I slowed my breath down to a crawl. And I just got into the mindset that that rattlesnake was an ancient wizard here to heal me. And that's just another example of being so hyper present and being so calm and collective in the most craziest spots, because a lifetime of having these fear responses and these emotional responses, they start to take wear on the physical body and the emotional body. Family, do me a big favor, share this live. And make sure you tag me so I see that you share it, because a lot of people are sharing my stuff and I have no idea. I get so many messages from other people saying, oh my God, I saw this and I had no idea. I want to know who's sharing this information, and that's really important. Wow, your husband got bit by a copperhead. Same family as a rattlesnake. Same, a little bit different venom. Copperheads are full on. Yeah, please share this and tag me so I know who's doing this. And I just want to leave you with, we really are in this together. Nothing is separate in this life. Just close your eyes and I'm there with you, right there in your heart. And ditto, when I close my eyes, I know that you're with me. This is what family's all about. I don't have to use fancy words. get the message across. I can go into higher levels of alchemy and talk about specific ways of accessing spirituality. I could do that. It's very easy. But right now, you're just going to get directly from my heart to yours. We're in this together. I'm all in. So much love. Do yourself a favor. Go listen to my podcast with Pete Evans. Heal with Pete Evans. I just listened to it on the plane again. I was like, holy shit. That came out of my mouth. I was blown away. Love you guys. I'm gonna go jump in this Norway love. It's truly an honor. No fear here. None. No fear here, ever. No such thing as fear. Fear is an illusion. Oh, cool. I was supposed to do a private retreat at Rhythmia with David. I don't know if he's still on here. We still might do it. We're going to Peru in 6 months, 5 months. That's going to be a retreat. Let me just tell you that much right now. The retreat that we're doing in Peru, it's never been done before. It's never been done before. Oh, cool. There it is right there. That's the Heal with Pete Evans. That's it on Spotify. Yep. The Peru retreat, never been done before. I used to listen to this song with my father. And every time I'd leave the hospital, I would just sit in my car and listen to this. Time is the ultimate illusion. It truly is. At the same time, in this experience, in this body, time is short-lived. is short-lived. Can't believe it's gone. It's getting darker. It's getting dark. Yeah, I would, wherever we were, whether it was my home or the hospital or any of the clinics that we were at, I would bite my lip, walk out, and then go and listen to this song, whether in my headphones or in my car. And I would just sit there and just look at myself in the mirror and look at my life, my childhood with my dad, flash back on all the micro moments of everything that I experienced with him. Don't take anything for granted. Love you.